Morning, YouTube. What we're doing today is we're going to drink a little coffee, but we're going to go down to the creek here and shoot a landscape photo or two. And I want to take with me this little magic piece of plastic, well actually plastic housing with a piece of glass in it. What I want to do is I want to get some good motion blur on the water in the creek. And to get that, I need a really slow shutter speed. So I've got a lens that'll go to f32. So I'm going to show you without this filter what you can do with just the camera. It should be overcast. So that means we'll already have reduced amounts of light to work with, which will be, you know, a stop or two or five or whatever from overcast to sunny. But we'll start with an overcast sky, which will be a perk. Fingers crossed. And I think it will be. It's looking pretty promising for overcast conditions. But then I'll shoot a frame at f4 wide open and show you the water, and then I'll shoot a frame at f32, and that'll slow it down some, you know, what was that, 6 stops, and we'll see what that looks like. Then I'll add this variable neutral density filter, and this is what it looks like. It's not very complicated. It screws on the front of your lens and it gets darker and brighter. But it's got 2 pieces of glass and they're polarized, so as you rotate them against each other, it gets darker and lighter. It's actually marked with a little scale on the side, and it shows you from maximum light transmission to minimum light transmission. That's what the scale's marked as. And it's, I haven't ever counted them. Let's see if it actually, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It's marked with 12 graduations, but it's claiming to be a 1.5 to 8 stop filter. So I guess that's just a reference scale. But what we're going to run is I'm just going to run the camera on manual, and I'll dial it down to 30 seconds, and I think that comes out to about 7 stops roughly of reduction from f32. So I'm just going to leave it on f32, and yeah, there'll be some diffraction and people will complain, but this is more for academic. You know, I would stop, honestly, I'd stop at about f16 under normal conditions, and I do have a 10 stop fixed ND filter that I would use. That way I wouldn't, you know, you wouldn't run into diffraction issues. But this little thing makes shooting in the daytime, getting water blur, a breeze. So with that, let's go outside and let's get the camera out and let's go see. Alright, I know a bunch of y'all are going to complain about the lens. Yeah, it's an old series A7ii f4. But what it's going to do is it's going to allow me to show you the stops and the exposure easily, and then you'll see the difference that this is going to add to the shot. Right now at f4, if I pull this up, I've got it set to a non-CPU lens, so you can see since it's actually reading the aperture pen. I've actually got it f4 at 1/200th of a second. Gives me a reasonable exposure, okay, but the water's not smooth like I want. So I'm going to stop it all the way down, which is 6 stops. If you hear them, you hear, let's see, you'll see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stops. Then that means I got to turn this down on the shutter speed 6 stops. So that's going to be, whoops, 1, 2 is 1/50th, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1/3 of a second. So I fire it, and as you can see, I'm blurring the water a little, but that's not enough. So now we're going to get the adapters and get this filter adapted, and we're going to play with some more reduction. So as you can see, I've got the 62 to 67 millimeter adapter, and I've got the Hoya variable density filter on. Okay, so what I've got going here is I've got the camera shooting long exposures running about 30 seconds. That's only 7 stops actually. It just finished. Oh, and I've got long exposure noise reduction on, so it'll process for 30 seconds. And then we'll see what we've got. Now that's it. The lens is already set to f32, so there'll be some diffraction such as that, and people are going to complain about that, but it is what it is. But we're playing with the neutral density filter, so I'm just trying to see what I can get with a 30-second exposure with the ISO set. I don't even know what the ISO's on. Is that bad? There we go. That's done. The water looks much more flowy now. So we're going to experiment with this a little more and see what we can come up with. Patiently waiting on the noise reduction to finish its job. Where we are, this is a really beautiful area. This is basically my front yard. I'm probably 200 yards from my house. So I'm getting a shot of this area right here. I'm trying to get the water blurred. Let's see. Not bad. It doesn't really generate the effect I'm looking for though. The blurring is so good that it's completely erasing what I'm looking for. So that shot doesn't work. We're moving on. Sometimes you just got to go through the bushes to get to where you want to be for the shot. Leaves and limbs and sticks and crud. Here we are. Yeah, I want to get a shot of that. Okay. Let me fix my hat. Alright, now what I've been doing is just walking around trying to get some interesting landscape sort of shots. Nothing like the vista of the entire Rocky Mountain range, but kind of more macro style landscape shots. And you don't have to have a lot of space to do this in. I'm just shooting right here down by the creek by my house, and it's coming out really well. I've got some really interesting shots. Some of them didn't work, some of them do. So we're going to get them into the computer, and then we'll insert them into the video so you can see them, and we'll go from there. Hey y'all, if you want to see more content like this, hit that subscribe button. If you want to be notified when I drop another video, hit that little bell next to it. Don't forget, if you like the video, hit the thumbs up. Let me know. And I always like reading comments. So if you've got one of them, drop me a comment. Let me know what you like about the video, what you don't like. But if you have any questions, give me a holler. I'll talk to y'all soon.